Hello everybody today. My name is Chimeze. Welcome again to Papa's Heart Ministry. And today is Sunday. I'm sure so many people are going to church this morning. But for the past few days, the Holy Spirit has been speaking to me about something very important. And it's about mercy. The mercy of the Lord. In the past few days, the Lord has prompted in my heart to study the book of Luke 18. And for every time that I study and find out what the Lord has done for us, my mind, all I'm thinking about is there's so more that the Holy Spirit has done for us. There's so more that the death and resurrection of Jesus has done for us. Now, the first thing I want to talk about today is basically the mercy of God, and also about being obedient to the Holy Spirit. Now, the first thing is this: if you study Luke 18, and then you study to the part where Jesus talked about the Pharisees, and also the tax collector who came into the synagogue to pray. Now, one of them spoke about all his works, all he has done, how wonderful he is, how he has studied with the Lord, how he has spent time with the Lord, how he's not like every other person complaining and judging or comparing himself to the others. But then there's one other, who is the tax collector. The Bible said he couldn't even raise his head. He couldn't even look up to say, oh, I can even look up to God. The Bible said he put his head down, and then he beat his chest and began to say, Lord, have mercy on me, a sinner. Now, when I read to that part, and it got my attention, because I began to think, Lord, I'm not even worthy to come before you. Every day I sit before the Lord, I realize that it is his mercy that he shows me by allowing me to come before him every single day. Every time I wake up, every time I'm able to look at someone, every time I'm able to speak, is because he's showing me mercy day by day. And it's the same thing that it makes me understand that, for instance, this morning, I got up this morning and I had to quickly go to pick up a package that came in yesterday. But for every vehicle that I entered into, it made me understand that we as humans, we go through vehicles of our life every single day. And through those vehicles, we come in contact with several people. And it is only by the mercies of God that you step out each day, nothing happens to you by the time you get back. It's only by the mercies of God that you can go to work, and you get back from work, and you meet your family, everything works out well. It is the mercy of the Lord. Now, when you even read through that chapter, and you read down to the part where when Jesus had come into the town, and there was a man that was blind, and he found out that Jesus was the one passing. The Bible said he asked the people and said, who is coming? And he found that it was Jesus. And he decided to call, say, Jesus, have mercy on me, have mercy on me. It's the same thing. It makes me understand that when you receive the mercy of God, everything, nothing else matters. When you receive the mercy of God, every challenge that you have been facing becomes reconciled, because it is the mercy of God that perfects everything that concerns us. The Lord wants to show us his mercy day after day. Now, when you come before the Lord and you begin to think about, oh, because I have prayed so much, I'm expecting that this should happen, because I have fasted, because I have walked in obedience. Now, I'm not disputing the fact that it is perfect for you to do all that the Lord has called you to do, but all I'm saying is this: despite all that you have done, you must always bear in mind that for you to even be in Christ is a privilege. For you to be called a child of God is a privilege. For you to walk before Jesus is a privilege. For you to have the mind of Christ is a privilege. For you to walk with him day after day is a privilege. It's because he's giving you an opportunity to walk with him. None of us have that. None of us can do it by ourselves. Every step that the Lord has called us to do is by his mercy. Now, that is one point that I wanted to talk about. Now, another thing I want to talk about is about obedience to the Lord. I know I've mentioned something about this in my last video, but I also want to talk about it again. Obedience to the Lord. There's times when the Lord has said, okay, I do not want you to eat outside. I want to stop eating outside or eating in restaurants. Or maybe I don't want you to go to a particular place. And then I'm wondering, why did the Lord ask me to do that? But then I began to discover, sometimes we do not know the things that take place outside those places. There are different information that the Lord has said, I don't want you to go there, I don't want you to take that step. Or perhaps you wake up in the morning, you're planning, okay, these are the things I want to do, and then the Lord says, I don't want you to go out there, I need you to take this other step. Or probably God has said, I need you to go on a fast, and you're thinking, I am hungry. How can they not tell me to go on a fast, But I have discovered when he gives an instruction, it is because there is something he has seen in the realm of the spirit. He knows what target the enemy has planned for you and I. He knows what exactly the devil has put in place. Look, we are not dealing with an adversary that is not intelligent. He knows what we love the most about ourselves. He knows the things that get our attention. So when the Holy Spirit tells you, you get up in the morning or you're about to take a step and then he leads you into another direction, just know that there is something that he has seen in the realm of the spirit that he's trying to protect you for. You may not understand the reason why he's asking you to do that, but just obey. Just walk in obedience. It may even seem like it's difficult. Let me give you an example. The Holy Spirit told me some time ago and said, I do not want you eating outside. He said, if there's anything you need to eat, make your food at home. And I'm someone that I do a lot of, I walk on the road most of the time. What I mean by that is, most of the time I'm not in the office. I have to be on the road. Either I'm traveling or one thing or the other. So I'm basically most of the time on the road. Now, because that was happening, I had to be eating in restaurants most of the time or in hotels. But the Holy Spirit said, I want you to stop eating outside. I want you to start eating at home or probably whatever you cook. So I started doing that. But then I discovered that period, that season when the Lord said, in fact, when He started speaking to me about that, that was the period where there were more reasons to eat outside the more. And I will explain what I mean by that. The more He asked me not to do that, I found out that every time I go for meetings, there were meetings that I have to go. Maybe I have a business person that came into town or different things I had to do. I had to go for business dinners or business lunch. So different. And how do I take my client out for lunch or for dinner and then I'm not eating? But it's his instructions. He has said it. But in the midst of that, most of the time, whether I go for a Chinese restaurant or a Thai restaurant, then one day I have a favorite restaurant. It's called Oriental Hotel. I love to eat there very much. And then I discovered one day the Lord got my attention. He said, as you are stepping in, He got my attention. It means I was stepping into the restaurant and the hotel. I noticed that there were idols in front of the restaurant. And the Holy Spirit said, look, these people, they've already made it clear to you that this is what they worship. Everything they do in there is accrued to these idols that they worship. So when you walk into a place like that and you go to eat, you eat from the table of an idol without even knowing. And I know many people will say, how do you know that? There's many people who cook outside, even those who sell in the market. How are you sure that some of those things are not? The truth is this: I have learned to walk by the Lord's instructions. Even when you go to the market to buy something, sometimes I'm not saying that there will be no challenges with the things, but that is why you ask the Lord to guide your steps. You ask the Holy Spirit to lead you and to guide you in the way that you should go, so you do not make mistakes. Because the Lord knows exactly where He wants you, to who He wants you to work with. Even in business, there are businesses I'm working with, and then the Lord says, at this point, I need to step out of this business. Even though it's going to cost me a lot of millions, a lot of things, the Lord is saying walk out of it, because He knows the people you are working with. He knows what relationship you are involved with. He knows who they are. The Bible says no one knows the spirit of a man except the spirit that is in that man. And the only way you can know the spirit of another man is when the Holy Spirit reveals that person to you. So when the Holy Spirit is saying to you, I do not want you to take this step. I do not want you to go this way. I do not want you to speak to, I don't want you to get involved in things like this. He has his reason why He's saying that. He has his reason why He's saying that. He knows what He has seen, why He has said, I do not want you, my daughter, my son, to get involved in that. Now I discovered that in that season alone, it's either they are going to one restaurant, and for everyone we go to, the Holy Spirit opens my eyes in one way or the other. It may not be so obvious, but somehow He gets my attention to see. Now the reason why I'm saying this is this: if you have a purpose in God and God has destined you for something great in Him that He intends to achieve through you upon the earth in the lives of many, He will speak to you. That's the fact. The Lord will speak to you. He will tell you things. The Bible said when the Holy Spirit comes, He will tell you of things to come. In other words, you will not be caught unawares. So when he knows that there are things that have been set in place that could bring satanic transactions in your life, that could alter his plans in your life, in your body. When you eat, the Bible says that there are altars that priests are not supposed to eat from. If God has called you to be a priest, to be someone that he wants to use in his kingdom, then you know that there are altars he does not want you to eat from. There are places or business relationships, some places just by being involved in that business, if there are satanic transactions that have taken place, just by going to that office, just by signing a particular document, it's as good as enough to get you involved in an evil transaction. So this period, one of the things that the Lord has been teaching me, and I would like to share with you, is whatever instruction he gives to you. The Bible says that the words that I give to you, they are spirit and they are life. So whatever word the Lord is speaking to you in this season, please do not ignore them. Keep them in your heart and walk quickly. You must act. Quick obedience is so important. Quick obedience. Now, as I'm speaking about this thing, I'm also speaking to myself, because there are things where the Lord has spoken to me and I have taken time. But then the Lord is so merciful, and he's talking to me this period and saying, I do not want you to waste any more time. I need you to begin to act. Every instruction he has given to you, please act on it quickly. He has things set in place. I remember listening to late Miles Monroe from Bahamas, and he talked about being in tune with your control tower. And I remember in that message he was talking about every pilot has to be in tune with their control tower. So what does that mean? If you are a pilot and God has ordained that through you he will lead many into their destinies, for you to achieve that purpose, whether in ministry, and ministry doesn't necessarily mean you are standing on the pulpit. It can be through platforms like this. It can be through your business sector, whether you're working in an office, or maybe you're doing a job, or doing whatever kind of business you're doing, or whatever you're involved in. That can be the vehicle through which the Holy Spirit has decided to use through you to reach out to so many. Now, if the Lord has chosen to use you like that, you are a pilot. Other pilots coming with other planes and other vehicles, they cannot give you direction. You must keep your attention on your control tower, because the control tower sees what is coming ahead. It can tell you if there is a storm coming. It can tell you if there is a challenge coming ahead, or perhaps there's another plane coming that could collide with you, and he will let you know. So when that happens, you need to keep your attention on the Lord. It's the same thing the Lord is bringing to our attention today. So I just wanted to have the opportunity to explain to you these things. The importance of quick obedience and the importance of staying in God's mercy. Because in his mercy, he teaches you all that you need to know. So you are not caught unawares. So you are not easily entangled with things that go on around you. Because the Lord loves you. And he loves us all. And he wants us all to walk in his perfect will. So today I'm going to end this chapter today. And I hope that you are blessed. I wish you a fruitful day and an excellent week ahead. I pray that the Holy Spirit leads you and guides you in his perfect will. Once again, if it's your first time in joining Purpose Heart Ministry, please subscribe and click on the notification bell, so if there's any new video, you'll be notified immediately. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Amen.